So, hello everyone, good evening, and I hope you had a great, you are currently having a great weekend. And thanks to all of you for joining this webinar. It's one way of showing your commitment toward learning new stuff. And NLP is something which is revolutionizing the data science world these days, like from chatbots to a lot of sentiment analysis. So it's happening everywhere, and every company is trying to integrate some or the other possible solution which can be developed using NLP. So kudos to all of you. Let's begin. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So just let me know once you see the screen.
Yes, we can see, Shyam.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So yeah, just put everything, whatever comments you have, whatever doubts or whatever you want to know more about NLP, you can put in the chat box. And so these are the few things, I'll cover a bit of a concept so that you are also aware of all these basic context around NLP, like what are the basic concepts which you should be aware of, and how you can apply NLP as well in real time. So we'll cover all these concepts in the webinar, and yeah, let's see. So guys, so first of all, so NLP stands for Natural Language Processing, and it's a way to make the machines understand the language basically at scale. So we all know some languages, right? Whether it's a regional one or English or Hindi or any sort of other foreign languages, it takes us a lot of time to understand these languages and develop the grammatical or the syntax over time. And you must be aware, right? Whenever you learn a new programming language, it becomes a bit difficult, so it takes a bit time, right? So machines also have to learn these languages and understand the meaning of it. So it's 1 second. Let someone is this going for only textual NLP? Like we'll be discussing about the textual NLP, yeah, right now in this webinar. I'm not getting you exactly. You can be more elaborative on this, Rakesh. So so first of all, you need to understand like what is the data on which we apply NLP. So we have three types of data: structured data, semi-unstructured data, and unstructured data. So can someone tell me on what kind of data do we apply NLP? Just put it in the chat box. And I don't see any reply yet, but yeah, guys, and yeah, structured maybe. Okay, structured, semi-structured. Yes, so the guys who are saying unstructured, they are right. Basically, you apply NLP on unstructured data and then convert it into a structured format, right? Because see, right now, we like most of the things which we do in data science is around structured data, like 90% of the projects. But in reality, over 90% data which is available available with us, it's unstructured, either in the form of video, voices, images, text. So these are like unstructured data, right? So you have to be like, you should know techniques to convert that into a relevant format and then apply NLP on that, on top of that. So I just wanted to understand the background of you guys. If you can just put your background, like, okay, if you are just a fresher, like just mention the college degree and like what the background is. If you are a professional, you can mention about the years of experience, a company or the domain. It will help all of us to understand. Yeah, great guys. So BSc Physics, BTech second year, great. So yeah, BE Civil. So this is really great. So guys, the people who are from computer science background, see, like you might be familiar with a few concepts, but I'm telling you, the people with non-CS background, it's very easy to understand, and Python is one of the easiest language out there. So you will see like we will do all these basic things in Python, and you can understand like, okay, it's not that difficult to process data as well. Okay, so guys, like yeah, we understood like, okay, this is generally applied on unstructured data. And talking about some of the applications, let me see. So talking about some of the applications of NLP, uh, you are looking at it every day. So if you look at, so you must know Grammarly, right? Grammarly or Microsoft Word, they correct your essays or something. Can you imagine your life without those corrections? It's not possible, right? It's very difficult. And even search engines like Google. So you see, whenever you type a mail or something, right? These days they are giving auto completion option. So that's a result of NLP, because they think like, okay, people who have written this, most likely they will end up sentences with this. Please find attached file in the mail, right? Please find the attached file in the mail, something like that. So something which is common, they are trying to integrate it. They're trying to automate it using NLP. And there are voice assistants like Alexa, Siri. Uh, like every day we do try to interact with them in some form or the other. We do try to give them voice commands like, okay, stop the alarm, put the alarm clock at 5 a.m. in the morning, something like that. And I think the biggest is the chatbots. Like you see, right? Uh, Whenever you go to a Zomato or Swiggy, you have a problem, you just go to the chatbot and tell that, okay, my food was not good. There has been some spillage in the packaging, and you interact with these people, and there is no one sitting at the back end. It's everything is automated. You just select a particular option, then they will reply based on that. If the food has gone bad, or if there's some spillage, you just attach a screenshot and then a pic of that food, and then you send it off. So they are automating this entire step, which used to take a lot of time and a lot of man hours previously, right? So that's the power of NLP. Like you can do all this at scale, and you can go through all these applications one by machine translation, speech recognition, sentiment analysis. When you go to any website for review, right? Whenever you buy a new product, you go through all these reviews. So at the back end, you know what you are doing. You are running an NLP. So you are trying to judge the product based on the design, the durability, or the prices. So that's what Amazon does. Like if you go to any website, you check right now at your system. They will give you certain keywords. Okay, this is the main characteristic of this product. If there is an earphone, they will say like, okay, it will last long. It is water resistant. So yeah, like no one can escape these days. Like if you have a lot of reviews, yeah, then yeah, you can, rather than going through all these reviews one by one, you just look at the ratings, right? So yeah, there are so many applications, and so the first thing which you have to understand is applications we all understand, but the basic concept behind NLP is very important to know, right? Otherwise, whatever you do, it might not yield good results. So the very basic concept of how to clean data, how do you see or visualize data, is very important. So let's see what's there. So yeah, guys. So the first step is understanding natural language. 1 second, I think this is coming on the way. Yeah. So yep. So what machines have to do? They have to understand the language, right? And like let's look at this example. I saw a man on a hill with a telescope. So it's like this is okay. Let me see. There is some window popping up. Yep. So there can be multiple meanings of this. There is a man on the hill, and I watched him with my telescope, right? And there's a man on the hill, and he has a telescope. And whose telescope? No one knows, right? But who has a telescope? Who is using my telescope? So there are multiple meanings possible in of a particular line. And the fun part is no one can actually tells you. So it all becomes a probabilistic approach. Like it can be anything, but it's just that what is the most likely meaning of that particular line. So that's what we also do in our brain. Basically, whenever you listen to someone, right, we try to understand what is the most probable meaning. Yeah, Kishore, someone has raised hand. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, do you want to put some question in the chat box? Someone raised hand. Okay. Yeah, whenever you have question, just write it out. We will discuss each and every question you have. So we will keep 15 minutes at the end to discuss all the doubts. How do you approach different jobs in NLP? All those things. Okay, and how companies are leveraging NLP to improve it. I'll give you one more example, maybe at later end, how these is you apply it across multiple industries. So that's guys, that's an important thing, like to understand the meaning of the line, because it can help me with multiple, like it's a probabilistic approach, not a deterministic. That's what you have to understand. Like given this line, what is the most likely meaning of this? And this is another example is, can you help me with the can? So you can understand this. Okay, like, okay, someone is asking to help me with the can, like some can, cool drink can or some water can is there, and they want some help. But how machine differentiates these two can, because they're exactly same word, right? And most of the time you also think like, okay, I'll just pick the word in the line and I will explain to someone like, okay, machine can easily understand by just looking at the word. No, the placement of the word defines the context of that word. Okay, so can you help me? So it's like can is a word, like here it's just like it's a request here. So if it's used before you help me, something sort like that, then it's yeah, it's a request. But at the end, if it's used using with the can, so basically if it's used with some sort of uh, conjunction or something, then it might be a noun. So differentiating these two things becomes very critical. uh, and and there are many more examples with it. Like there are same words, right, which has multiple meanings. I'll give you another example, like light. So light is what? Light is sunlight, moonlight, whatever light is. And then there is lightweight material. So if you just mention light, uh, there is a lot of light in the room. So if it's used in this context, then it's most probably a sunlight. And this is a very light product or light headphones. So then uh, it's used to show the weight of the object. So you understand, like this, these are certain challenges in NLP. And Sajia raised hand. Let me see. Okay. What are the tools to do programming and related work frames to do NLP? Okay. So basically, so primarily you use Python, and there are multiple libraries or packages which are supported. And we'll discuss about the key libraries packages as well, so that you can explore them later on. Like it will help you get started. And later on, you can develop projects as well if you are interested, right? So Python has a lot of support system. And how NLP is useful for a computer science student who is going to give his class 12th board. Okay, so Manas, so the point is, it's pretty useful because after 12th, you guys are going to pick a particular course, right? And if you are interested in this domain, then definitely you should take computer science and all. And if you love data science, if you love mathematics, numbers, then obviously it will help you understand, like if you can really appreciate what we are trying to do here, and what are the enormous opportunities in this field, then yeah, it will shape up your career. Like if you can work, if you think like you can work in this full time, then obviously yeah, decide it as a professional career, like make it as a professional career, and it will help you. Yes, great. Then great to hear that you love computer science. So yeah, so guys, do you understand, like there is a classical dilemma in NLP as well. Even you can't differentiate. I gave you the example of light, but if I gave you that same light in a French basically, if I've written a French sentence in which I have used light in two different ways, you couldn't have differentiated it because you don't know the meaning of, like, you don't know the word for light in French, right? So then you would also fail. Like, you think like, okay, no, I can understand, but no. If it's in a given, if it's in other language, then you will also not able to understand what kind of light they are talking about, right? So that's some of the classical problems, but there are ways to deal it with it. So just remember this deterministic and probabilistic approach. Deterministic is, you know, for the fact that the meaning of this word is this exactly. You know the context and you know the meaning. But probabilistic is, you're not sure, but yeah, it's most likely to happen. Like, this is the most likely thing which is going to happen. Yes. So yes, somewhere. Sajia, you want to write something? You want to write something in the chat box? You have raised hand. So these are different components of NLP, guys. Okay. There are 3 participants who have raised hand. If you want to write.
Sham, I guess we can ignore the hands and take up the Q&A at the end.
Okay.
That
Okay.
works, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just give me a second. Yeah. So guys, these are the different steps in NLP. Lexical analysis. It's a way to clean the data, because you would be dealing with a lot of paragraphs, right? And paragraphs are big AC sort of thing. You have to break them into like sentences, words, and understand the word structure, because you can't process on the entire article in one go. You have to break them into pieces. And when I'm saying this, I'll just mention you one example. Every day you guys are reading news, right, from Google, and you see business news, Bollywood news, market news, sports news, and there is a clear segregation, right? But do you think everyone goes through all these articles, like millions of articles, and then decide which one is what? Is there a man sitting behind that deciding which one is a sports and which one is a market news or which one is a entertainment news? No. Like, there are topic modeling based algorithms which just analyze a particular article and figure out, like, okay, this is most likely a sports article because it talks about Ronaldo, Messi, Virat Kohli, all these things. And if the article talks about Sensex, Nifty, it's a business article. And if an article talks about Alia Bhatt and Ranveer's wedding, then it's most probably a Bollywood or entertainment article, right? So that's how, like, there are a lot of applications, and this is one application which we use every day or which we see every day. The second type of the second component is syntactic analysis. So it's like understanding the grammatical structure of the sentence. Okay, so it's like the sentence is wrong. Like, the shop goes to the house. It's a incorrect sentence, right? So understanding the grammatical sense of the sentence and rearranging words in a manner which shows the exact relationship is called syntactic analysis. And then we have semantic analysis, which goes into the context of the word. So basically what happens is you can't have a hot ice cream mentioned in the article, right? Because ice cream can't be hot. Might be if someone just does an experiment, weird experiment, but yeah, most probably it's a wrong thing, right? So hot ice cream doesn't matches with the context of the ice cream, so it won't pass. So semantic analysis deals with the semantics, basically the context, the meaningfulness of the data. Disclosure integration, it's just like it mentions a bit more information, like he works at Google. So if I directly start my sentence, like he works at Google and he has a lot of perks, he enjoys his life like anything, you will not understand who is he in this case, right? So unless and until, like, I have described he before, like, okay, Abhishek works at Google, he has done his undergrad from this. So now you will understand, like, okay, this he is talking about the first noun which came before that sentence. Uh, so so how the languages understand is, if he sees a pronoun like he, him, his, all sort of these things, it will check the noun just which has been the which has been addressed before it. Like what is the noun which has been addressed or which has been talked about in the lines before, and then it will tag that he, him, her, his, all those things to that particular noun. So that's what is called disclosure integration. And then guys, we have pragmatic analysis, and it like it's pretty difficult to do this thing. Basically, if I say you close the window in a very polite tone, it means a request. If I tell you close the window in a very strong tone, then it's an order. So that sort of thing is very difficult to analyze and to understand these sort of things. You need to have other form of data as well, like the voice and all. But yeah, these are some sort of analysis which is also done, like, okay, whether it's a request or an order or something. So these are the different components of NLP. You should be aware of, just be aware of these concepts, so that if anyone talks about this, you are you are aware of the terms. But yeah, every boon has some sort of disadvantages as well. Nothing is perfect, right? So there are challenges in NLP as well, which I told, right? If light can have two meanings. So it's just that if you have word, if light is referring to a room, it's most probably sunlight. But if light is most probably referring to an object, headphone, table, bed, an object or something, then it's most probably used for defining weight. So, but yeah, but the biggest problem with NLP is sarcasm. To understand sarcasm or to understand metaphor. So he fought like a lion in the war. So what NLP will tell you, okay, there was a lion which was involved in the war. So, but actually it's not the case, right? He fought like a lion, or he was a lion. So there are simile, there are metaphors. So so English is what do I say? It's a pretty beautiful language, and you can manipulate it based on what you. So there are a lot of poets. So it's very difficult to understand poetry in NLP. And like he fought like a lion, or he was a lion in the war, right? So it becomes a bit difficult, but yeah, slowly and steadily there are some development happening in this space. So at least they are doing better than what humans can, and they can do it at scale. So that's the biggest thing. So yeah, sarcastic terms like, okay, you are so good that I can't even talk about you. So so these sort of sarcasm is still pretty difficult to understand in NLP. So yep, and meaning based discussions, opinions basically. So yeah, these are certain challenges. You can go through it. And yeah, someone was talking about libraries, right? Easy to use NLP, like what packages we have. So so NLTK is one of the key libraries which we have. And so can someone tell me, like, have they ever used NLTK before in the comment box? If they have done, like, what they have used it for? Great. This is really great. Yeah. So so guys, so this is one of the classical packages which we use for data cleaning, understanding the different like aspects of natural languages. So prose is, like, obviously it's one of the most well-known languages, and supports largest numbers of languages. But yeah, it's a bit slow, and since there are no neural networks involved, sometimes it might not be that efficient. So uh, so that's, but yeah, it's still used a lot in education and research tools. So if you're learning it in your college or academically, if you're learning it in academia, and then people are still preferring NLTK a lot. And Spacey is something which has also came up these days, and it is also revolutionizing. Basically, there are a lot of applications, but yeah, it is now overtaking a lot of work in NLP, and it's good to be aware of this tool because it's a pretty fast, and like it's a production ready package which helps you build pretty great tools which can be deployed on the go. So chatbots and all, you should be like, yeah, using Spacey. And then GenSim is there. It's used for topic modeling and similarity detection. I told you about that Google News article, right? How do they differentiate between different articles? They use GenSim. So if I just give you, forget about articles, if I just give you 1,000 essays and I tell you like, just give me 10 different types of like, what are the kind of topics on which people have written. So some is writing on finance, some is writing on social issues, some is writing about politics. So topic modeling, what it does is like it tries to figure out different sections within the document, the set of documents, and give you the output. Like, okay, there are these many clusters of document available, and it assigns that topic to it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting one. Like you can explore this further, like the GenSim one. So what we'll do is we'll just explore NLTK a bit. There is a Python notebook as well. Let me 1 second. Yeah. So what we'll do is I have the snippets here and there as well. So I think so. Let's read the data first. So we are exploring certain features of NLTK because majority of the audience here, they are still not aware of the basics of NLP. So let's cover that in a bit detail so that you like see once you start working with the textual data, right, you will get very familiar. Like now, then you can implement a lot of things. So yeah, you read the data and this is, you just look at this, you print this text. And what is len? Len gives you the number of the length of the text, basically the number of characters in this particular so in this particular word, in this particular paragraph. So that will give you, yeah. So these are this is the basic step to load the data, and then you import various libraries, and you use import NLTK. And within NLTK, if you have to extract a particular function, then you use from NLTK import sentence tokenizer. So I don't know, like if you want to do this like real time, you can also try this on Google Colab. Like you can just open it, and maybe I can share the link. Let me share this. If you want to try it out, you can also do this. You can get the text, and let's do this. Like if you want, you can also try and see how it's done. So if you guys are familiar with Google Colab, just open. Let me just show you how do you do that. Google Colab. Okay, just go here and like just put new notebook. Let it come. Yeah. So now I have given you 2 pieces of code, right, to get the text. Just get the text actually. So yeah, we'll try to, but yeah, if you do it yourself as well, it will help you a lot. So just get the first, just run the first line and then just copy paste this part. Right. Yeah. And then what you do is, 1 second. Yeah. If you copy this and then add code. So here you can add using plus code, you add code and you press Control Enter. Then you see, right, you can see that you have loaded the data. Like you read the file, you have read the file. Type is the class of the text. So basically, yeah, it will give you str, which is a string. And then if you print the text, it will print the entire paragraph basically. And if you put the len, right? If you put len and text, then it will give you the length of that entire text. So just do this, because this will help you get started on this. Yep. So after this, what we'll do is, let's see. So I told you, right, the first step is breaking the big paragraphs into small sentences. And sentences, I mean, is you see sentence tokenizer. So what do you mean by tokenizer? Can anyone explain? Can anyone guess? Yeah, exactly. Yes, Rakesh. All right. So basically, you are trying to split those big paragraph, massive paragraphs into sentences. And right, that's how you learn as well, right? You don't learn the entire book in one go. You split those into smaller chunks, and then you go through it. So sentence tokenize does that. It will break the entire paragraph into these lines, right? Then the second step would be to tokenize the words. So for that, you do word tokenize. So basically this will, so now you can see, right, it has broken this entire paragraph into different words. Like there are 144 words basically now. And you can see so much, like, okay, now there are so many things which are going on in this particular paragraph. So this is the most granular level at which you break to understand the context. Because if you tokenize it further, like if you get characters O, N, C, E, there is no meaning to it, right? This is the point where you can identify the meaning. So that's a bit. One second. Yep. And after that, you then do a frequency distribution. You have this NLTK function called freq distribution. It will give you the distribution of the all the words in the document, and you then actually plot it. Fdist.plot. So I'm telling you, like, what happens is whenever you get a new project, right? So suppose you are being given a set of reviews, like 1,000 reviews of a particular product. Suppose there is a headphone in the market which has been newly launched, and there are limited reviews, like 100 reviews. The client wants to understand, like, are we doing good, or what are the what's happening with the product. So what do you do? For the first step is just to compile all the reviews and look at the frequency of the words which are happening, like hype, like it's, so someone might just write, okay, it's bad. So bad is coming out to be very frequent, or it's beautiful is coming out to be very frequent. So the first step is to understand the frequency of a particular word. Like, okay, this is talking about little, okay, house, pig, all these things. It's being talked about in this particular article. So this is the frequency. But there is a problem to this. Can anyone tell, like, what problem is with this approach, like looking at the frequency to understand the document? Can anyone just tell? Exactly. You can see, right? There is exactly, Sriram, you're right. So stop words. So A, what is the significance of A, was, the, it, these are like, these are not adding any information. I can see, like, okay, let's talk about little big house, but everything else is redundant, right? So what we do is we have to remove these sort of redundant words out of the paragraph. So first of all, we remove punctuation marks, and for that, what we do is so remove all the punctuation marks using this particular function, like words no punc and append w lower. So basically, if there is no punctuation, then yeah, you just basically you filter out all the punctuations here, and then, and what do you mean by punctuations? The dots, sometimes you get a colon, right? The dashes. So all these comes into the punctuation marks. So is alpha is that function which tells you, like, okay, if it's a punctuation, like, then you can have it. Like if it's not a punctuation, you append it. If it's a punctuation, you don't append it. So that's how the first step is to remove punctuation marks to clean the data. Okay, and then you plot it. But again, you see like there is a lot of redundant words like he, the, a. So then what you do is you pick out a list of stop words, and stop words is something which doesn't add any information in the data. It's just a redundant sort of set of words in the document. So English has a different set of stop words, and you can see this like, okay, if you mention the language English, you can then print all the stop words, and you can also print for French, Spanish, everything. So let's try this. So yeah, we have done this. We have loaded the package. Yep, let's do this. We have tokenized the sentence. Yes, someone is any doubts? Pos tagging. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, here I have to run this again. Now it will load up. Yeah, the text is defined now. It will now tokenize it into sentences. You see, it has broken that paragraph into sentences. Then word tokenize is the function for breaking it into words. And then you get the frequency distribution function within this probability package. And it gives you, when you put the word, basically word is a list, like 144 different words are there. Not different, 144 set of words are there. And then if you pass it to this function, it will give you the top word, like the most common words, the top 10 ones basically. But you see dots is coming, dot is coming. So then you have to remove those dots. And then what you do is, let's see, you remove the punctuation marks from here, and then you again plot the frequency distribution. So now there are no dots, but still you can see there is and, the, a, right? So these sort of words are there, which has to be removed because these are not adding any sort of context in your data. So yeah, once you remove them, yeah, so this is a way to find the stop words. So yeah, this is the first step. So you see in English you have so much of a list. So what you do is, if you see, okay, if you're satisfied with this list, it's fine. Otherwise you can append some words as well. Like within this English, you can also append some words which you feel are stop words. But yeah, it does give you a basic. If you write French, let's see, it is giving you different words, right, in French. If you write Spanish, it will give you. So the beauty is, so you can work around any language if you are doing it with Python. And let's see. And then once you clean these words, so basically we have removed it. So now you can see, right, it has dropped from 144 to 65. And now you can do the plotting of this. And when you do this, what you see is now it's talking about something like, okay, old built house. It's talking about some sort of house, pretty old house, which is built, and there is a pig as well in the house. So yeah, now you're getting some context, right? Previously I was not getting any context of this, but now you can set some context around it. And just imagine, like, this is happening at scale. Like, it's not that you are so right now we are just processing one simple paragraph, right? But if you have thousands of paragraphs, it will basically explain that what is exactly mentioned in those paragraphs. So yeah, guys, let's move back to this. Stop words you have cleaned, and then again you plot it. So basically, you can plot this. So these are some basic features of NLTK. You can explore, but yeah, this is the first step which you do using any library, Spacey or anything. But yeah, do try this, and understand like how do you use different packages, because once you are aware with all these data cleaning steps, you can then clean any sort of data, right? So there are, yeah, we'll discuss this. Yeah. So word cloud. Can anyone tell us like what a word cloud is? This is a very important concept. Yeah. Graph, exactly. So in case of structured data, you all guys are aware of, right? You plot some histograms, bar charts, box plots, all these things you do, right? But in case of textual data, what do? You plot a pictographic representation of the words. So just for an example, during COVID-19, if you have plotted uh, the news, right? So COVID-19 would have been common across all the news. Or Twitter, like if you have plotted the Twitter hashtags during COVID period, okay, so it will tell you about COVID-19, then lockdown, quarantine, social distancing, all these things will come up. So word cloud is a pictorial representation of the data. You can't have a scatter plot here or a line chart here, right? You can have this for textual data. And how do you represent it? So the bigger the size of the word, the more frequent the word in the file, basically in the data, basically. So that's how you present it. A smaller words means it's not that frequent, but bigger words are very frequent. So that's how that's the main frequently repeated words. Yes, right. Just, if very is removed, the context will be lost. How to deal with it? Yeah, we'll come with this. So we're not just working with one particular word. There are phrases as well, like we do chunking and all, which we also discuss. So yeah, you're right. Like you just can't you just use the word. It's like you have to analyze some phrases as well, because that's how you get the context. It was not very bad. The product was not very bad. If you just analyze bad and all, then it won't give you the actual context in which the word has been said, right? So yeah, we'll discuss that as well. So yeah, but yeah, this is one of the key concept word cloud which you should be aware of. Let's move later. Yeah, and we can plot word cloud here as well. You can see, yeah, word cloud is a package. You can do that. You can directly build that, and you see house, little feed, mother pig built. So something is happening. Something, an old house where some people are living with some animal and all. Something is happening here, and you can easily see this from this word cloud. And yeah, there are ways to do some beautification as well, like you can have a circular based word cloud. So yeah, like first of all you should understand why we do word cloud, and then you can understand like how do we like change the background color to black and then masking. So basically these sort of things you can learn later on to beautify whatever you are presenting. So guys, just understand like these are also very important, because if you don't present it well, it might not be as worthy as you as think. So okay, now comes some of the critical concepts like stemming in NLP. Can someone tell me like what stemming does? So Sriram, we are not like we'll share the Google Colab link after this webinar. Yep. Yeah. What is the NLP? What is the NLP tool used in the real world analysis? Okay. We'll take this question, drop this question again during the Q&A. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding these sort of things, then just drop in these common doubts. We'll take it at the end. Yes, exactly. So basically, stemming is stem means reduce a word to some of the base form. Like you remove certain suffixes at the end and create a base form. Because if you see, right, if you just analyze a word, changing, change, why to have this multiple times when you can have this, like, you can have all of them are exactly the same thing, right? So why to have these multiple times? So whenever you build any word cloud, it will tell you, it will show you changing, change in a different as a different word, but actually they are the same. So that's why we do some data cleaning. So if someone asks you what are the data cleaning steps in NLP, stemming is one of it. Stop words removal is one first thing. Then you do punctuation removal. Then you do stemming. Stemming is just removing some suffixes. Okay, and there are a lot of stemming packages available. Like Potter stemmer is there. Then so you see why it's not changing everything to STUD, but it's adding I. Can someone tell why it's happening? Like why it's not? Because stud is a different word altogether. So it has to differentiate it, right? So it has removed it and have kept I across all of them. So you see, stemming becomes very important to make consistent, to have consistent words from the paragraph. Otherwise, you will have uh, multiple words for the same meaning. And there are different stemmers available. Potter stemmer is there, snowball stemmer is there, which you can explore. And then there is a snowball stemmer which supports different languages like Arabic, Danish, everything. So guys, what I would recommend is if we like once we share the notebook and all, or during the course as well, we go very we go in a very detail about each of these things and why that happens during the coursework. So there are multiple stemmer techniques which are available, and yeah, you should be aware of these things. There are certain advantages and certain limitations of all this. Some is slow, so you need to understand, like some of them might be pretty fast, right, but they might not be accurate enough, and some of them would be slow but they would be accurate. So you need to understand the requirement of the project, and based on that you use. Yes. So guys, another concept is like lemmatization. It's pretty important. So can someone tell what lemmatization is, like, in the chat box? Yes, yeah, right, Rishi. So basically, stemming is just removal of the suffixes, right? But lemmatization changes it to the exact word. Yes, 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 exactly. So yeah, right, you're right, guys. And so if you, so just this is a very common question across interviews if you have written NLP as your expertise. Like, what's the difference between stemming and lemmatization, and which one would be faster? Can someone tell which one would be faster? Okay, it's already there on the. Yes, yes. Why? Because stemming doesn't have a logic, right? You just have to stem the suffixes. But lemmatization gives a context to it. So it understands the past tenses, present tenses, and present continuous. So it converts everything to the actual word, which is exactly, you're right. So it doesn't check dictionary. So that's why it is faster, like stemming. But yeah, lemmatization is good, right? You guys must be thinking, like, why should we ever do stemming if lemmatization gives the actual context? So guys, think of scale. You are looking at 5-6 words here, right? If you have 5-6 billion words, what would you do? You would do stemming, and at the end, when you figure out, like, okay, these are the very important words, then you will convert them into a root word. If you have 5 billion words and you start doing lemmatization, your code will converge in a year of time. So, like, no, it will be not that much, but obviously you won't be able to do a lot of things quickly. So that's why we prefer stemming if you have a lot of data and you have to deliver quick results. Yes. Do remember this concept, because yeah, it will surely be asked if you are preparing for data science interviews. And lemmatization, there are multiple techniques in lemmatization as well. We do have Potter stemmer, wordnet lemmatization. Like, there are multiple techniques here as well. So they also do based on the backend implementation. So let's see default POS value. So basically now you have the Python implementation of these different so yeah, these are different forms like we talked about these two lemmatizers, right? Stemming and lematizer. So stemming gives you studi and lematizer will give you studi, the exact word. And these are just some Python implementations of these. Pretty simple. And yeah, you see am, is, are, was, where, all of these are different forms of B. And so if you use lemma.lemmatize, and W is the word list, basically this word list is getting passed into this, and POS is part of speech. So you want the verb form of this is B. If you want the verb, study. If you want the noun, studying. So so those sort of things are given as a parameter, and then you can work around with this lemmatization as well. So these are very beautiful concepts. Lemmatization, stemming, stop words. Without these, you can't process any textual data. It will give you garbage, like nothing will happen. Okay. POS means part of speech. So, right. So we discussed, right? Why do we do part of speech tagging? So POS tagging becomes very important. We have discussed this example before as well. Like, can you help me with the can? And can is a verb here, and the second can is a noun. So the the part of speech tagging become crucial to understand the exact meaning of the line. And there are multiple type of words, like so there are coordinating conjunction, cardinal digits, there are noun, pronoun, adjectives. There are so many different type of part of speech, 16-20 types of parts of speech which is available. So you have to tag it up, basically. So for every word which is available in the line, you then have to tag, like what kind of word is that in that particular, what is the part of speech of that word. And a simple POS tagging is available in NLTK, in the POS tag library, where you just tag like studying and study. So studying is a continuous verb, and study is a noun. So let me show you these things. Stemming is done, right? We have done stemming. It just adds I into this, and then there are so many languages which are available for stemming. Then lematizer is this study part. Yeah, all of these are actually the same thing, which is B. And yeah, studies. Let's quickly run all these things. POS tagging, yeah, this is very important. So POS tagging becomes like you are tagging the exact word to the basically the grammatical part of speech. And then an example for POS tagging is let's check out this. A very beautiful young lady is walking on the beach. So if you have to tag this line, you see, so first of all, what would you do? You have a sentence with you, right? And then you would tokenize this sentence into different words, like, oh, very beautiful. You will split every word of it, and then you will assign the part of speech based on the word. So beautiful is what? JJ is adjective. Young is what? Adjective. Lady is noun. So so these are the ways in which you tag the different words. You will see the application of this. Like, there is a massive application of this. later on. So yeah. So someone told, right, you can't be right if you just look at a single word. So that's why we do chunking in NLP. So guys, any doubts still here? Like, because see, why we are going into this detail? Because once you are aware of all these concepts, right, then you can apply anything. Like you do hear a lot of fancy things in available, but to understand these basic concepts is the most crucial aspect. Someday some new application will come in who will implement something else, but if you don't know these things, you will not be able to do any changes from day one. You will be able to understand anything which is available in the natural language space. So do understand the basics of it and do try. Do give it a shot, like at your end, what are the things? And we have a lot of concepts. So yeah, NLP is a pretty massive topic. And see, there are companies which are of billion-dollar valuation just on the foundation of NLP. Like there are companies which provide chatbot solutions or provide the sentiments of like what is the sentiment of people on social network, like Facebook, right? Facebook does a lot of sentiment analysis. What is your current mood? Uh, what type of comments are you writing on social media? It will tell you. So suppose if someone is a big supporter of any particular political party, right? From the comments or from the likings, the social media platform will know, okay, this is what he likes, or he likes beaches, not mountains. Then he will be shown only the products which is around that. So that's how companies leverage these sort of analysis. And yeah, it's pretty great. Like if you start learning this, you will enjoy, basically. That's what I can say. So chunking, so as you see, like chunking is extracting meaningful phrases from the unstructured text. So you can see on the bottom right, we watched a fantastic movie. So this is a noun phrase, right? A fantastic movie. Noun phrase. Phrase means two or more words, and noun is it's revolving around a noun, which is a movie. So in chunking, we split the entire sentences into phrases, not a particular word. I told you, right? If some customer has written, uh, this product was not at all bad. Okay, so this is very important to understand, like the entire phrase of the bad, like how bad is coming in and how it's being used in the sentence. So you have different phrases: noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases. Okay, and let's see the implementation of this. Yeah, let's see some implementation of this chunking. Okay, so just give me a minute here. Yeah, so guys, just wanted to highlight a few facts. Before, like on top of what Logesh discussed, is to make a successful breakthrough in any field, right? You need to have three things which, like, you should have these three things with you. Like first is the conceptual awareness, which you are already getting from the GUVI, right? Like once you enroll in this course, you will be like shown the, or you will be taught the entire spectrum of data science, starting from Python, very basics of machine learning, statistics, NLP. All these things will be taught to you, so that like you can talk and discuss about these concepts with anyone, like from an analyst to director level. You can discuss all these concepts with anyone in the industry. So that is the concept part, the first part. The second one is having a great resume, because you must have seen, right? Like a lot of times you will be applying to all these places, and you will say like, okay, no one shortlists my resume. No, none of the HR responds to me. Why don't they respond to me? So there is a reason behind that. If your CV has good projects, so suppose if you are planning for moving into banking industry, or you are already working in a banking industry, like someone was working in mainframes or something, right? And if you're already in that industry, pick a project, around that industry, like credit default models or personal loan propensity models or any sort of modeling you pick from that industry and put it in your resume, because then everything will get aligned. So what you can say is you have a domain expertise as well as data science expertise, right? So that's how you align your CV. And GUVI gives you so many courses, like so many projects, like on the way, that you can pick whichever suits you the best, and whichever is more interested, like seems more interesting to you, you can pick them and put it in your resume. And the third thing is the brand. Like you should have a backing by a good brand. There are so many courses in the market. You can't leverage all of it for your replacements. So, but yeah, IIT Madras brand and GUVI itself, like there are a lot of folks who have cracked good companies, and the only way to crack these good companies is to have a proper backing behind yourself. So yeah, these are the three things which are very critical, because you are competing with hundreds of people. Even though there are a lot of jobs available, but to get what you desire the most, basically like the best profile, you should have all these things with you. Okay. So that's what I wanted to add. And so let me go back to the presentation. Yep. So I think I think we have 18 minutes, so we have some time for Q&A as well. I'll just quickly show you. Okay. Yeah. So guys, we'll be starting with Q&A in 5 minutes. Keep your questions ready. We'll discuss everything, because yeah, you all guys are learning this from scratch, right? Like machine learning, and NLP is a part of it. But NLP is also a very crucial part of. So what happens with NLP is, if you have an NLP on your resume and a project on your resume, it can clearly differentiate you from the 100 other profiles, because there are very few people who are aware of the NLP cleaning mechanism or the NLP modeling stuff, right? So do have this on your resume, and you will see the shortlist rate will increase, and even the conversion rates. So even if you answer these basic concepts, you will find yourself in a good space in front of your recruiter. So that's why I would recommend this. And to ask questions, I'll just give you a bit of overview of what all is there in NLP. We'll just go through quickly. So basically in chunking, you do some sort of phrase extraction, which we discussed, right? Like just looking at the word doesn't make sense. You have to extract different phrases, and you define phrases by DT. Then JJ is the adjective, NN is noun. So you extract these phrases, like beautiful young lady. So you know, like there is a lady who is beautiful and she's young. So that's what she is, the main topic of this sentence. So that is called chunking. Chunking is like, okay, if you have extracted all these relevant phrases, right? Some of them are not as important as it might seem. So that is called chinking. So you just remove those chinks from the chunking part, basically. And then there is called named entity recognition. Here, so if you figure out, like, okay, some sentence is talking about WHO, right? So WHO is a well-known organization, but if I talk about any organization in a particular small town, that is not a big named entity, like that is not a big well-known noun or well-known organization. So named entity recognition, it attaches a particular category to the words, to the famous words. Basically, if I write Mount Everest, it's one of the location, basically famous location in the world. So I think majority of the world population will understand this. So this gives another tag apart from the part of speech tagging. So this is very important to have in a data, because it gives more context. So Switzerland is a country, is a noun, but it's a country, right? So it gives more information, it attaches more information to the data. So there are many things around named entity recognition. Then there is a WordNet. WordNet is a pretty interesting thing. Like it gives, so a lot of times I told you, right, that light word had a different meaning. So it can be in terms of wit, or it can be sunlight or anything. So so what you do with WordNet is you attach the meaning of any particular word, like fun. There are multiple meanings to this. So using this WordNet package, you attach meaning, and it helps. So sometimes in English it's fine with you, right? But in different type of languages, you need to understand the meaning of the top words. So that's where you use this WordNet package, and it helps you understand like there is a ranking, like okay, which is more likely, which meaning is more likely to be of that particular word. So that's where we use WordNet, and it also helps you get the antonyms, synonyms, these sort of things. So you can see right on the right hand side, you see WordNet gives you okay the similarity between two different words in terms of ship and boat. You see the similarity score is 0.9, right? But ship and bike, the similarity score is very less, 0.69. So you can try this. I can show you. Let me show you. Okay, I have the code, but in the interest of time, I will not explain. I will not go in detail here. So yeah, but yeah, you can like figure out the similar words using this WordNet package. And then there is a bag of words concept. So in the beginning, in the first slide itself, we talked, right? We have both. We have like we generally do NLP on unstructured data, and bag of words is a technique in which we transform these unstructured data into a structured data, like the frequency count, like what are the sentences and where the word is present. So something like this. On the right hand side, you see right the words and in which sentence it was present. So if it's present, it's 1. If it's not present, it's 0. So just the conversion, we convert this unstructured data to a structured data, and then we apply a lot of models or classification techniques, naive-based classifier, multiple things on top of it. So yeah, we'll also learn the implementation of all these things in detail, and TF-IDF is a very important concept. So basically, what I'm going to explain right now is it's the importance of. Yeah, let me show. So basically, TF-IDF is it helps you understand the importance of a particular word in a document. So sometimes I'll just give you an example. So what happens is a word is pretty common across every document. Then it's not that important because it's available across all the documents. So suppose you have 100 articles, right? And Virat Kohli is mentioned in 2-3 articles, which means it is important. Like, so there are two ways to measure the importance. One is the frequency of the word, and the other one is its frequency across documents. If the word is frequent across all the documents, then it's not as important as any other word, which is not that frequent, right? But if the word is very frequent in a particular document, then it's very important. So frequency within a document is very important, and rarity is also something which is important. So basically, this sort of TF-IDF conversion helps you understand the significance of a particular word, and there are a lot of models which are built on this TF-IDF. We'll discuss the detail during the coursework, like how do you actually compute it, what are the Python implementation of this. So it's a pretty interesting topic, and it is something which you should all be aware of if you're writing NLP in your resume. Everyone will ask about this question, about this concept. So I think these was about the basic concepts, and during the coursework as well, right? We do a lot of projects as well. So in terms of sentiment analysis, I told you, right? Sentiment analysis is one big research area or one big implementation area in NLP. So you will learn how to import different packages. How do you use grid search algorithms or random forest? So random forest can only be applied once you have a structured data set, right? So you convert that unstructured into structured data set. Then you apply these sort of, then you build train and test data. You see the distribution of the different targets. So these are like the different targets of sadness, anger. So this is the text and this is the label. And so basically ultimately we are classifying into 1 and 0. 1 is happy or 0 is sad, sort of thing. So we then learn how to develop word clouds, basically, then how to clean the data and how to build random forest. Basically, you will get to know about each and every word mentioned in this code. Maximum features, what is max depth? Because just having NLP concepts won't do the trick. You have to know the entire data science ecosystem to leverage this all these codes, right? So then You will see how do you implement grid search, how do you develop all these things. You evaluate model on train and test. You see how good your model is. So you see the model is able to classify one's pretty good, 0 is also pretty good. So there are different evaluation metrics which we then deploy, and ultimately you will get to know, okay, if you just so basically till this point of time we have trained the model, and at the end, see what you should what you should be able to do at the end is, if you just give a new input, sometimes I just want to punch someone in the face, so the model haven't seen this line ever before, but it is telling that it's a negative sentiment, and when it's seeing I bought a new iPhone and it's amazing, it is telling you that it's a positive statement. You see, and let's add damn amazing. So basically, it is a positive. So, and it is damn pathetic. So it is a negative, right? So you can see, right, in front of you itself, you can see, right, whatever you want to write, the model will help you understand like what kind of statement is this. So this is the power of machine learning. Like whenever you build a new thing from scratch, right, it can do things at scale. That's it. Like now you can put a billion line here, it will explain the exact sentiment of it without actually reading the line. So that's the beautiful part of machine learning, and you will get to know about all this in detail during the coursework. So all the best, looking forward to meet you all in the course. And yeah guys, yep, let me just drop in your doubts. If you have anything, we'll discuss that in detail. Okay. I think I have to look for scroll for the another batch slot booking will start now. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Logesh. So guys, yeah, what I would say is data science is just the beginning of the massive change which we are going to see in the Indian industry, right? And there are so many people who are needed in this domain. Yes, Praveen, we'll discuss with the data science, the GUVI team, and we'll share everything up. The point is everything will be shared in the coursework. So once you are there, that will definitely be shared. But yeah, we'll discuss with the GUVI team. Yeah. So guys, let me see. Please put in your questions, guys, because I don't know when we will interact again. If you have any specific question, just go and Google like NLP applications. And when you are learning these NLP course during the curriculum, just ask and discuss all these things. So it will really help you. And yep. Yeah, just give me a second, guys. Yeah.
There's one question that's being repeated. It is like, what is active learning?
What is active learning?
Yes.
So basically, it's something when you are building some models which is learning on the go. So it's more real time. Like whenever any new data is being fed into the system, it learns on that. So I had given you the example of reinforcement learning, all these things, right? So active learning is also pretty near to that, and it's just that you try to modify the algorithms interactively in real time, and you have a dashboard sort of thing uh, where you train the model basically. So what you do is sometimes you have an interactive tool as well where you play around with the model and you see the changes in real time. So it's more about the real-time concept, which is called active learning. It's not that something has been trained at the back end and now you are using it. You are also a part of the development. Like you are seeing the delta, which is being which you can see with different hyperparameters. So I told you, right, there are different hyperparameters within this random forest, like max depth, minimum sample split, all these things. You like basically you try different iterations of this, and you see which one is performing well. And this is the performance metrics. So that's how you evaluate different models. Because you guys must be wondering, like, okay, if I just apply linear regression or random forest, I'm done. No, there are thousands of different varieties within these random forest. You have to evaluate which one is better and which one is not. Which one is better, RPA or NLP? There is nothing which is better or something. NLP. NLP is a pretty broad thing. There are so many concepts within NLP. So if you're interested in NLP, then just develop your profile around that. It will really help you in the long run. Like a lot of companies, I told you, right? If the role is specific for NLP, then you will obviously get the job. But even if it's not, and you know NLP, it's a pretty good skill to have on your resume, because a lot of companies, you know what they are doing. So to understand what is the public perception about their company these days, right? They will scrape data from LinkedIn, from Glassdoor, from all these review platforms, Google reviews, and they will see what is the problem with their company or with their product. And you can only do this with NLP. Like, okay, the sentiment, what is the sentiment of about the company or a product? If it's good, you will try to keep on improving it. If it's not up to the mark, then yeah, you will try to focus on the areas. I think, are you providing any internships? So Shivanjali, like what is about that internship thing? We definitely provide support, but I'm not aware like whether we provide internships or not. But whatever skill is required or support, mentorship, anything, it is there by GUVI. Yeah, 1 second. Shivanjali, do you have any other questions like which you have got, because I can't see?
No, actually, I have not received any. I have only received one that is already covered.
Yeah, I think I'll just scroll to a sentiment and how to use sentiment analysis for new app review. Okay, guys. So new app means you don't have any sort of review, right? So just Google about A/B testing. So you test one feature at a time and then you move ahead. You can't have a full-fledged review data, right? So just go just Google and understand this A/B testing part, where you change one, like where you add or remove one feature in a stepwise manner and see what is the traction on your website. If the number of consumers are going up, then it's a good change. If it's going down, then it's a bad change. Just revert on that. So just remove that change. That's what I can say right now. Okay. Please share both the code. And guys, these boot camp sessions are pretty good. Like these people, they are industry professionals as well as highly experienced teachers. So I don't think there are courses available online which are going in 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So there are so many courses, but this course also covers every aspect of data science. So, and that too in a very practical way. So I think that's all about.
Yeah, we are done with the questions also, right?
Yes.